Hi guys, so we're going to do a soap brow today. Did the glue brow yesterday, so today we'll try the soap and see how we get on. So first things first, let's clean our brows. Just removing any product that might be there, and if you just remove any product that might be around about the brow area too. Now, as I said in the last video tutorial on brows, normally you would do your brows first. You wouldn't have any other product on, but I would look a little bit too scary if I didn't have any makeup on. So I'm just going to do my brows. So that's them kind of clean. Okay, so as always, I just like to give them a wee brush, using your wee disposable spoolies, and ensuring that that product is dry, or your brow is dry even, if I can speak today. So if we start applying the soap or anything onto something that's not completely dry, then it's not going to give you the desired effect that we need. So I'm quite happy, my brows are dry, so I'm going to grab another clean spoolie. And I'm going to, this is my own one now, so I can scoosh this with a little bit of water. You can also scoosh your spoolie if you wish. I like to get my spoolie and bend it, so it's like this. And then I'm just going to work it into the product there. We don't want it to go too bubbly, but if we get a nice amount of product, we're trying to get the soap scum, basically. So some people like to kind of grate their soap first, but I personally find that the spoolie does the job for you. So once you've got enough product on there, then like before, we can apply the soap into the brow. Make sure you're coating all areas, and always pushing the brow right up. The reason we push the brow up is so that the hairs lie as flat to the skin as possible. As I said the other day, if we brush them that way, again you'll get a nice kind of flat look, but it won't really, the hairs will be lying on top of hair, so it won't be as flat as we can. So once the soap's in, I like to grab a clean brush and just kind of roll the brush onto the eyebrow area. So if I grab this and then I can roll it, it'll create a nice kind of flat look. Again, basically just creating that brow lamination that everybody's kind of doing right now. Again, you can use your finger and tap that in. So if I just wanted to wear my brows laminated, I could leave it like that and cover up any little bits that are missing. But I don't, I want to soap them out completely. So I'm going to go back in with a little bit more soap. Concentrating on the front ones, because they're the ones that kind of stick out a little bit more. And again, getting your brush and rolling that. So using your finger and just pushing them into place. It's always quite good at that point to maybe take a mirror and just have a wee peek at the side and see that they're all lying flat. Got a couple of wee sticky outies there, so we'll just add another layer on. You always get the wee crazy ones that don't want to lie flat. Rebel. So again, get in there and push the soap down. Obviously making sure you're pushing in the same direction that the hairs are lying flat. Don't want to push down or to the side, because that would disrupt the pattern that you've created there. So my brow is flat. I'm going to do the next side. So now they're both flattened, what I like to do is just put my finger into the soap and then just push one last little layer on top. So ideally, if your performer has got nice small brows, you're laughing, but if they've got massive brows, then it's going to take a good couple of layers to get these bad boys away. Sometimes if you want to completely take away the brow, you can use a prosthetic piece. You can bring your bald cap down over your brows if you're wanting a completely hairless look. But we are just going to use soap today. So now that my soap's in place, I like to just get a little bit of eye makeup remover on a little cotton bud and just take off any excess soap around the areas. I find it just works better for when I'm applying foundation and stuff on top, and powder, because I don't want to have soap where I don't need to have the soap, if that makes sense. So just clean up the area. Also, again, make sure you're having a close look, making sure all the hairs are flat and there's no little bumpy bits of where the soap's built up. Because again, if we're going to be powdering this to set it and applying product on top, the product will just sit on top of any bumps and exaggerate them, which defeats the purpose of spending all this time blocking out your brow. So now we are done. I'm going to take a little bit of powder and just press that on. So I'm going to conceal this area by colour correcting using a little orange concealer pot. Scrape a tad out. And then I'll be able to kind of brush that onto my brow area. Now I'm brushing the orange concealer onto the actual hair itself, not onto the skin. And you don't need too much. Almost just a wash of colour, depending on your client's eyebrows as well. If they're very fair, then you don't really need to block out and colour correct anything. But if they were quite dark, then it's just going to make your life a little bit easier. And I'll do it on the other side too. So once I'm happy that's done, just have a wee close look to make sure that's okay. I'm going to get my sponge, as I did the other day, and I'm just going to dab around the edges just to make sure there's no harsh lines of where I've just put the orange. And then I can go in and set it. So now I'm using the same sponge as always because I like to save the environment. So I'm going to then use the other end for my white powder and I'll dab that in. And that will set the concealer that I just used. And then I can dust that off. And then it's a case of just concealing what's been left. Just every step, if you just have a wee close up and make sure that your blending's good and you've got no build up of product anywhere. Because if you get it at the beginning, it's so much easier than trying to fix it at the end when you've got a big line. It's almost impossible. So one side I'm going to mix my P. Louise bases. I really wanted a number 3, so I'm going to mix base 2 and 4 together. Just a tiny bit, and I'll apply that on one side. So you can see I've got my colours mixed there. And then I'm just going to paint that over. My brow is going away. Again, I like to use the bases because I can bring it down onto my eye, which makes life so much easier if you're doing a big crazy look. So once you're kind of happy with how much cover you've got on there, you can bring a little bit of the product up and blend it into the rest of your skin if you want to. Obviously, be applying, you can imagine, quite a full base or a face paint of some description if it's for your character makeup. No brow. Right, on the other side, I'm going to use your Ben Nye concealer palette. So I'm just going to scoop a little bit of that out. And again, super simple, we just paint it on. And you can see already we have no brow. So again, just a wee peek close up to see how that's covered. Very well. So what I'm going to do around the edges again, just with my sponge. Obviously you would take the base right up if you were going to be doing a full look. I'm going to dab around the edges, try and blend it in. Do I need any more? Wee tiny bit. So I'm going to, just a wee bit there into sugar it. Set this with a little bit of powder, then I'll apply one more layer, I think. Dust off the excess. Gently tickle that wee brow. You don't want to build up a product line on it, but you obviously want it to be set. And then I'm just going to pop one little more layer on. There you go, completely gone. Super easy, super simple, doesn't take long either. So it's funny, when I use glue, which is what I normally use, I prefer the P. Louise base, but when I use soap, I prefer the concealer. There you go. We learn new things every day. So I would obviously just set that and then build my foundation around it. Or whatever look I'm going to be creating. It is entirely up to yourselves. So just dust that off. So I could obviously draw a new brow in, I could create massive eyes, create a character of what I want to do. The choice is endless. You guys can have fun now, okay?